It's Bristol, baby. Welcome to Bristol, Tennessee, and round number 6 of the Area Cup Series from the world's fastest half mile. The last great Coliseum, whatever nickname you gave it, doesn't really matter. This place is fast. It will bite, and it is packed full of Cup Series cars tonight for the 6th round of the 2023 Area Cup Series. Welcome back. I'm Kyle Heyer, joined by Vinny DeCuna and Hunter Sleppy tonight. Vinny and Bristol, you look at this place, and it is special. It feels special when you walk in it. It feels special when you're driving on it, but it is as treacherous as any place on the calendar.
Yeah, especially with the amount of competition we have this season. For a lot of the drivers, the competition is going to be spicy up near the top of the field, and if we get through these 200 laps, it could be very spicy, seeing how these guys deal with one another, beating and banging side by side, racing hard for the win. It could be something very entertaining to watch, Hunter.
Entertaining indeed, and another thing that's very entertaining, Jake Nichols. He's yet to win a race this season, but he won this race a season ago, leading 107 laps of the 200. And looking back at it as well, not too many leaders or lead changes, only 4 for each category. So it seems like once you get up towards the front, it'll be all smooth sailing. But we do have an appetite for yellows at this track, 13 of them a season ago. Will it be more or less than that? And the last caution that came out was 8 to go, so expect it to end possibly under a green-white checkered pile.
We had a really good race at Michigan last week. It was a lot of fun to watch. 5 different drivers have won races in the first 5 races of the season. If you are named Travis Beckner, James Scioli, Connor Horn, Ricky Springer, or Seth Knoll, you're feeling pretty good about tonight because you can leave here on the wrecker and not really care. You're going to the playoffs either way. If you have not won a race yet, you're not looking forward to this, Finian, because it's 200 laps of survival.
See, here's the thing. Everyone's worried about doesn't care about being on the record, except for James Scioli, because remember that top 20 we talked about was a big contention point last season with Ricky Springer narrowly getting himself into the chase after he ended up having to secure a second win. James Scioli is only sitting 16th in the points. He dropped 6 places last week after retiring, finishing 37th. So he's had some decent spots of greatness this season, but he's also finished very poorly in a lot of other races. So he's got to worry about some points, getting some good finishes. And also wanted to point out Jake Nichols, too. Hasn't won a race yet, but he has been the most consistent driver all season long. He's finished in the top 5 all 5 races. So doesn't have a win, but he's been awfully close and been nailing a huge amount of points.
Indeed, and also one driver to keep an eye on there is Dom DeLeo. He actually finished in the podium spot a season ago at this track, all the way from 30th on the grid. So you can make a good bit of track position here, and don't let that 34th place fool you, because this is 200 laps. We have an appetite for cautions, like I said, and I just wouldn't count out DeLeo just yet, and teammate Greg Mitchell over there in the 2 as well.
Well, it's going to be a very busy racetrack. 36 entrants tonight, and just making it through the evening will be a challenge in and of itself. As we get prepped for this race tonight, again, we're going to have a couple opportunities to get qualifying in it, and 2 laps at the short tracks. Finian, qualifying at Bristol, really important. Not so big of a deal at the last couple tracks we've been at. Tonight, though, I want to start as close to the front as possible. The difference between here and other places where you qualify up front, you want track position, but you are never out of trouble here. A crash in turn 1 is a crash in turn 3 very fast.
Yeah, once the field gets spread out with such a big field, it's basically you're going to be in constant traffic all race long. So, like you said, if you're near the front, eventually you're going to catch the back end of the field, and you're going to have to deal with navigating their traffic and potentially getting involved in a wreck by you happening to work your way through the field. And then if you're stuck in the midfield or the back, you're going to be racing your way to the front, and that could also breed a lot of trouble. So that's going to be the really big key for the race for many of the drivers, is just not getting yourself in trouble, or just trying your best to stay out of trouble, which is not easy at all.
No, not easy at all with a track as short as this, only a half-mile in length, and with the way some of these guys like to use their bumpers or knock people out of the way, we could see some tempers flaring as early as lap 50. Don't want to do that a quarter of the way in the race. You want to make sure you buy your time and stay out of trouble, stay out of harm's way. Don't push the issue too soon. It's only lap 30. You can't win the race on lap 30, but you can easily lose it.
Race fans, be sure to subscribe to the Area iRacing Twitch channel. For only $5 a month, you can watch all Area broadcasts commercial-free. You can also use new Area iRacing emotes in the chat and earn double channel points as a subscriber that you can use to redeem For free merchandise, twitch.tv/area iRacing. Qualifying underway. This is an important session, and Garrett Grant is already taken to the racetrack in the number 5 Toyota. Jeremy Miller, Jonathan Cogswell, Nick Silver, and more. It's going to go by very quickly. This is a short lap here, 15 seconds or less.
Yeah, pretty much in Garrett Grant Racing, no time to get out there. I'm sure we're going to see quite a few drivers wait till the end with the sun setting, just waiting for the track to try to cool down as much as possible, give themselves as much grip as possible. But by the time I finish this sentence, Garrett Grant is already completing lap number 1. That is how quick a lap is here at Bristol, 14.705 to get the number 5 get going here in qualifying.
Well, the track record was a 14.613 from David Weissar back from Season 3, so we'll see
Broken.
if anyone has broken already.
These cars are so fast, Hunter, and we're going to see that track record just get absolutely smashed. Independent rear suspension, a lot wider tire than the older cars had, so I just think you're going to see lap times go very, very low. 14.594 for Jeremy Miller, and lots left to go. Cedric Hunter's on track in the 07. Osman Yoshiwu up to 5th, Brandon Bowie up to 3rd, Finney, and it's going to be
up, and James Scioli just jumping to pole in his number 7 machine. After a solid first lap, we'll see lap number 2 can be any better. Kind of curious to see which is going to be faster. From what we've seen a lot of times, lap 2 has been a little quicker, getting the tires warmed up, and I think he does go faster. Indeed he will, so we'll secure the pole. Cedric Hunter, solid time for him in the 07, up to 2nd place.
14.509. I don't know if anyone's going to get it down to the 14.4, and we have a new message from Michael Curran's in studio setup as he makes his way around Bristol.
I see JT Poole's jellyfish jam and raise him one crab rave.
There's got to be a great story behind that.
Well, I know the crab rave because I am a distinguished member of society and watch Linus Tech Tips, and that's the copyright-free music they use to test all their speakers.
Oh, I always love that.
Here's Nate Trado in the number 9 across the stripe for his first lap. 14.570 puts him 3rd on the board. If it counted, it did.
Indeed it did. I was looking at him in practice, was also up near the time, on top of the timesheets in practice. So Trado might have something in store here for the leaders once you get going. Still waiting for a lot of other heavy hitters to qualify, but looking good at the moment. Michael Kern, just talking about him, up to 2nd place in the 24 car.
Travis Beckner, last week's winner, Hunter, taken to the racetrack.
He got that win last week at Michigan and can focus on just accumulate as many bonus points as you can for the rest of the regular season before heading into the postseason. It's hard to think that we're already about halfway through the regular season. It's crazy how fast time flies, just like how crazy time flies here at Bristol. 15 seconds or less, and that's already a lap.
I mean, have a look at the halfway mark of this lap. It's 7.3 seconds. And when a wreck happens, you don't have a lot of time. You know, in the last couple of weeks, especially in the truck race, we're looking at drivers going, how do they not stop and how do they not see that? Well, here, there's no way you can stop. There's no way you can see it. Some wrecks you're just going to be in, and that's how it happens here. It happens quick, and really, you're driving through the top of your windshield here as Beckner goes 4th quick in his qualifying effort.
Ooh, Tyler Nichols in the 41, solid time for him, going up to 3rd place, just a couple hundreds in behind Curran and Scioli.
In studio setup for Ricky Springer has that VR headset. He works his way around 3 and 4, but yeah, a good time there for the 41 of Nichols. Will the 51 of Springer top him?
Ooh, that was pretty good.
14.592.
6th, 7th?
7.
Now, does any of the drama from last week, there was some pushing and shoving at the tail end of the Michigan race. As far as a place to settle your scores, I think Martinsville is a little bit better, but, Ricky's in the wall there in lap number. That was the end of his qualifying effort. Does any of that carry over, Finian, or do you do your best to try to put that in the rear view?
I mean, again, I really think if you can avoid it, you really don't want to be making enemies, especially if you got a championship run lined up, because it's just going to hurt you later on the season, because drivers don't forget. We've seen in the past many times feuds transgressing over several different races, and it just doesn't help you out in any way, shape, or form. So ideally, you want to keep the rivalries to a minimum. But if that driver is really annoying you, you may want to do something about it. But Jake Nichols jumping up to 2nd place, 0.005 of a second off of James Scioli. We'll see if lap number 2 can be any better.
And then there's Cameron Hearn in the 4, but Jake Nichols 14.58, not going to be enough. So only second quickest for the 73 of Jake Nichols. Cameron Hearn 14.558, good enough for 5th, actually a 5.7 there. We'll see if he can improve on lap 2.
Hearn out of turn number 4.
Whoa!
And lost it, almost went quicker, but ends up in the barriers.
Had he not lost, I mean, he was only 1,000th of a second behind Tyler Nichols. I think had he not gotten sideways, probably would have gotten at least one spot up in a 4th. And, not a whole lot of other action on the track. Still got a lot of pretty quick drivers, I would say, to qualify. Ryan Hart's, Connor Horn. Of the two we're kind of waiting on, there is Bryce Senizak, who we're looking at the moment. He's going to get out on the racetrack.
This isn't Bryce, but JT Poole's got another visitor behind him, Hunter.
Yeah, it's the same one as last week, except Ricky Bobby with Pit Vipers. That's an interesting combination there.
Wanted to mention something when we were watching Ricky Springer's onboard as he's jamming out right now. Looked like he was jamming. I think he's just talking to some. Oh, is he drumming or jamming? I can't tell. Either way.
Bit of both.
I wanted to talk about Ricky Springer because I think one of the things that will help you a lot here is virtual reality. If you've got a single fixed screen, you can't really look around all that much. VR, big help in terms of placing the car and seeing what's around you when things are happening so fast.
Yeah, I was going to say, as someone who has immersed himself in VR, it is very...
This is the greatest thing we've ever added to Simulator.
I have
broadcast.
to imagine he knows that we're watching him.
I would imagine that is the case.
Oh, my. I don't even want to know what dance move that is.
See, now I wonder if he's going to feel that happy at the end of the night. That's going to be the big question.
Now, the move he was doing might turn into balled fists going in each direction instead of just open palm.
He is stealing the show. We'll see if he can do it on the racetrack as well. He will start no better than P9.
That could be worse, could be better. What I was saying before we were interrupted by a dancing Ricky Springer was that VR definitely does help quite a bit because I found a lot of times when just stuck to a single monitor, constantly hitting the left, look, right button to see where my competitor is and just relying on your spotter. But things we were talking about here, the lap is so quick, things happen so quickly here, you might not have enough time to look by hitting the button or just relying on your spotter because things change so quickly around here. Ryan Hartz, we'll see if he's quick enough to get a solid lap up into the top. He's been waiting till the end of qualifying here. We'll see if he can get himself in the number 3 to the top of the hill.
He has a Pro Series win at this track in which he led.
Whoa!
14.498,
wow. Top of the board, Ryan Hartz. Pole and track record in the number 3.
Couldn't even get it out, but he has a win here in the Pro Series where he led every single lap and didn't have any incidents involved. So it was a flawless performance there. Just like that qualifying effort from Hartz, we'll see if Connor O'Kresick, his teammate, 14.595. It's going to be good enough for 14th, matches his car number. Can he get inside the top 10 for lap 2?
Hartz only did one lap. That's all he had to do. As Connor O'Kresick working his way around to complete his second lap, 14.570. It is not faster on his second attempt. Connor Horn getting set up for his laps. Same with Frankie Barroso.
Yeah, see this number 42's got any speed of it. He's posting in our broadcast chat earlier today. He's happy that that 609 Motorsports is not at the bottom of the team standings. Finally up to second to last, so they're making inroads here. We'll see, can the 42 get himself up near the top of the board now? Can he beat Ryan Hartz? Because Ryan Hartz just did one lap and he was done. Didn't need to even improve. Connor Horn, 21st. He's going to have to try to improve.
See if he can get through 3 and 4 a little better. Going to be tight off 4. Don't want to get too close to that wall. Gets off just fine. It'll be a 14.638. So almost similar lap time. 21st for the 42.
And that's going to wrap up qualifying. Jacob Bell, David Weishart, they will not start this race with a qualifying time, tail of the field for that group. So before we get rolling here, we've got our Roasted Gems Coffee starting grid coming up. Race fans, start your engines with a fresh cup of Roasted Gems Coffee. Choose from some of the finest coffee beans from Colombia and Peru, or try the blended flavors of French vanilla and hazelnut. Use discount code AREAIRACING for 10% off your order at checkout at roastedgems.com. Oh boy, 200 laps here. We got to warm up to get through in a moment. But, Finian, as far as the short tracks go, I like aggression, but this track has changed so much with this next-gen car. There's so much grip with that aero, with the diffuser, with the big wide tires and the independent rear suspension. It is so fast that it feels like you're on edge all the time, which isn't typically the case at short tracks.
Yeah, no, that's really the big thing with that change is that the constant speed that's maintained throughout the lap. Before with the earlier packages, the package you still see very much in the Xfinity and the Truck Series is, you get a decent amount of straightaway speed, then you have to slow down, get woe down for the corner. Here you're carrying so much speed through the corner, it really does feel like you're flying by and your brain's almost going a million miles a second just trying to process everything that's going on because you have cars going around you, cars slow in front of you, trying to figure out where to make a move, guys trying to make a move in behind you, and all the calculations constantly going around lap after lap after lap. It really does wear out a driver, especially when the racing's really intense, which is what we think is going to happen tonight. So a big thing for these drivers, again, like I mentioned before, is just trying to keep yourself out of trouble. But for a lot of these guys, they're not even worried about staying out of trouble. They're just trying to get as many points as possible.
Yeah, trouble is the name of the game, and especially at a track like Bristol. I see it as Dover as well, with it being a self-cleaning racetrack. So if you get a little incident going on in the middle of the turns or down the straightaways, it just slides right down to the bottom. So you want to make sure you're staying 10 toes down and not caught lacking, as they say. But still 3 minutes of warm-up time. Got to get some last-minute thoughts in before we go green, and don't want to see any sort of arguments or penalties, anything like that. 20 laps into the race because someone a little too impatient on the opening laps.
I write all the facts that go in the graphics there on the bottom of the screen. They pull off of a spreadsheet. Some of these I haven't touched in quite some time, and most of them I have remembered or memorized over the years, but I did not memorize that the land that this racetrack is built on used to be part of the largest dairy in the eastern United States. Hopefully we won't have a lot of lactose intolerance or any kind of intolerance at the end of this one, but won't be as sweet as ice cream by the end of it, I'll tell you that.
Oh, we'll be for the winner. Everyone else probably not so much. So that's going to be the big thing again, is seeing if we do see any rivalries develop or any, some guys that have been a little miffed at each other in the past, if it's going to start to boil over tonight, because we've seen when drama boils over, it really does boil over, with some people being parked or almost being removed from a league because of stuff that happens at Bristol. So we'll see.
All I'm saying is Ryan Hartz is on the pole and Jake Nichols is third. So make of that well.
What is going on down here now? We're being lectured? I feel like I'm being
He was
yelled
angry.
At. Yeah, it's like a drill sergeant.
It's funny, in 5 minutes he went from having a rave to yelling at someone. I don't know. It looks like he's yelling at us.
I think he's rapping. He might be rapping.
I think he's rapping.
That was me. That was me when Rap God came out about 8 years ago from Eminem.
Oh boy. And
it's times like this where I almost wish we had volume on this.
Well, I could turn it on. I wish not to. It's not a technical thing. It's just because it gets confusing if I have to chase down who's saying what where. So that becomes a thing. So just waiting for the kickoff here for our 200-lap event. And you're watching SimTV. If you'd like to follow along, live timing and scoring is available, simtvbroadcasting.com, at least for the next day or so. I have to re-up the website, and I keep getting notifications that it's expiring and I need to pay the bill. I'm just going to see how long it goes until I have to redo it. Because it's a 3-year-at-a-time subscription, and I am locked into a rate that doesn't exist anymore. So we'll see. I don't know. It's like, you don't need to resubscribe until 2027. I'm like, do I really need that? Get hit by a bus tomorrow.
At least the website will still be up then for another 3 years.
Yeah. You die twice. Once when you actually die, and once when everyone forgets about you.
Oh, that was wow.
Wow.
That was very deep.
Unless you're a cat, then you have 7 more after that.
Well, Apollo's on my lap. 7 more. Oh, I guess.
Because you died twice. So
2,
9. Come on, you did computer science. You should know this.
Yeah, I learned all about Cat's 9 lives in the
Did they not teach you that?
I didn't learn about
What did
cat-
they teach you?
I didn't learn about cats. I learned about bugs.
Ah. How much of that do you know, though?
Not very much. All right. Finally, time is elapsed here on the warm-up. That means we are going racing here in just a moment. It is a 36-car grid here at Bristol Motor Speedway. Let's head down to the racetrack and get rolling on our starting lineup because God knows we're going to run ourselves out of time. Here we go, kicking things off with row number 1. It's going to start with Reinhardt's new track record here at Bristol in the number 3. James Scioli, second in the number 7.
Chasing them in behind, starting in third, Jake Nichols in the 73, looking to get his first win of the season. Can it be tonight? Next to Michael Kern in the 24, rolling off at fourth.
Fifth place, Tyler Nichols in the number 41. Cameron Hearn starts sixth in the number 4.
Nate Trido's rolling off in seventh place in the number 9 machine. Last week's winner, Travis Beckner in the 28, rolling off in 8th place.
And in ninth place, it's Brandon Six in the number 66. Starting 10th is Connor Okrezik's number 14 Chevrolet.
Row number 6 is going to be Greg Mitchell in the number 2 car. Next to him, Ricky Springer in the number 51 in 12th.
13th is Cedric Hunter, the number 07. Jeremy Miller rolls off 14th, the number 30.
Delonte Ballard's going to be rolling off in 15th in the 21. Next to him, Seth Noel in the 1 in 16th.
17th place, Douglas Newbeging in the number 71. Ed Robertson, 18th place in the number 64.
Rounding out your top 20 is going to be Nick Silver in 19th in the 46. Next to him, Brandon Bowie in the 23 in 20th.
21st place is Connor Horn in the number 42. Not a great qualifying effort by him. Jordan Martin rolls off 22nd in the number 11.
Back in 23rd, it's going to be the 8 of Rafe Slate in 23rd. Next to him, Ben Pierce in the 65 in 24th.
25th place is Garrett Grant in the number 5. Michael Sturgill starts alongside him in 26th in the number 17 car.
Back in 27th, it's going to be Cosmin Yonishiu in the 84. Next to him, JT Poole in the 26 and 28.
29th place, Dwayne Culberson in the number 81. Jonathan Cogswell starts 30th in the number 27.
Frankie Barroso is going to be rolling off in the 12 car in 31st, with Bryce Sunizak next to him in 32nd in the 09.
33rd place, Chris Seidenfeld in the number 45. Dom DeLeo all the way at the back of the pack starts 34th in the number 22 Ford.
And then the 2 drivers that elected not to put a qualifying time down, it's David Weishart in the 33, starting in 35th, with Jacob Weishart rounding out your field of 36 cars in the 77 machine.
Jacob Bell in the number 77. You said
Hey,
Jacob Weishart.
They're long related cousins, long distance cousins.
Well,
But, yeah.
RIP Kyle's computer tonight with 36 cars at this small of a racetrack. This ought to be good. Cars are rolling, and now is the time to pick your favorites. I'm going to go first. I like the man that went fastest in qualifying. I pick the 3 of Reinhardt's.
No, that's kind of a boring pick.
Oh, hey. Anything can happen.
I'm going to pick the 73 Jake Nichols. I think he finally gets it done tonight. Breaks the win this streak that he's slowly been developing this season. I think he's looking pretty quick in the number 3 car. I think he's going to wait for a misfortune to happen to the guys in front of him, and he's going to sneak away with it.
Well, there went my pick. So I'm going to call an audible and go with the 66 of Brandon Six.
You said my pick was boring, and both you guys were going to pick Jake Nichols.
No, he hasn't won a race this season. So
He's won a bazillion before.
Yeah, but he's become unboring in recent history.
Okay,
so.
all right. Jimmy Johnson, freaking jump on the
Yeah,
bandwagon.
basically, yeah. He's basically become Jimmy Johnson, except nowhere near as bad.
Wow. Shots fired. We had a sponsorship pending from Legacy Racecraft or whatever they are now, but no longer. Time to go race. It can't be Legacy running Toyotas. Here we go. Green flag. 200 laps at Bristol. Round 6 of the 2023 Area Cup Series season. It's Bristol, baby, the last great Coliseum, and we're green. Forget how little you can get in one shot here because the banking is so steep. Battles everywhere right now, side by side, the 4, the 41, the 9, the 28,
yellow.
And caution out. And there's a couple of cars turned around, one of them, the 46 of Nick Silver.
Yeah, Frankie Barroso also involved as well. I think this started, though, with the number 11 of Jordan Martin.
Yeah, just a simple stack up there.
Horn. Wow. Oh, and then behind, Barroso looked like he got sideways checking up for that.
Yeah, this is just a standard checkup here. Yeah, I wouldn't blame anybody for that. Early racing, there's a lot of cars on the racetrack. Stack-ups happen quick, and the 46 goes around. Really no damage to speak of on any of these cars, which is good news for everybody. And relatively quick yellow flag laps. If this race were to go green from here to there, 1 hour and 2 minutes remaining in this race.
That's the key caveat there is
Yeah, my
where to go
hope for
green.
that. Last year's race went an hour 23. So
That's not
I
too
would
bad.
say around that ballpark range, and that's really where all of our races have gone through this season. They've been hour 21 with six leaders, 9 lead changes, and an average of 4 yellows for 15 laps. So I think after tonight we'll see that number go up by 2, maybe 3 yellows for averages.
Yeah, I mean, that's just part of it, right? You come into Bristol knowing that you're going to spend some time behind the pace car, but this is what this track is designed to do. I mean, they built this place with the intention of bumping fenders and things of the sort, so you're just living up to the legacy. As far as the schedule goes, though, next week things will look very different. We're heading to Darlington Raceway. We were there last weekend in real life. Then we had to Pocono, Atlanta, and hey, there's another road race on the calendar, Road America. That's a fun one. And finally, I think I'll actually be able to make a road race in this series. It feels like every time we do one, I'm out of town. But Road America up on the schedule in 5 or 6 weeks. Then Indianapolis and Talladega before we kick things off for the playoffs at the tail end of the season. Chicagoland Auto Club, Vegas, Richmond, and Homestead. And that's where all great championships should end, is Homestead, Florida. I love that track.
Yeah, I was going to say, it really, I still can't, it doesn't feel right at Phoenix, even though it's been there for the last few years. Homestead always in my mind, again, just I guess because I've been watching NASCAR since they moved to Homestead, and ever since then, it's always been the finale track in my mind. And to this day, it still is that way, so it is nice to see them ending at Homestead for this season.
Phoenix is not my true championship track, so I don't even acknowledge it as a championship track. Whoever wins Homestead is my champion, so that's how I make of it. But yeah, interesting to know in the playoffs. No road courses.
Hunter decided the championship in 2021 in April.
Well, I decided.
Whoever wins Homestead takes it all. Race 7. Well,
but yeah,
now Ross Chastain exists, so he will never win another championship again, apparently.
Oh, don't get Connor started on that. Connor was.
I know. I'm on his side though, so it's all right. I can deal with a rant if I'm also ranting.
Yeah.
You know?
But going back to the schedule, no road courses in the playoffs. That was different from a season ago in which Indianapolis was on there, and it was a road course, but it's an oval this time around, so I'm actually looking forward to that.
Yeah, I thought the Indy road course raced well, but I kind of agree. It didn't really make sense to have one in the playoffs when there's so few across the season. It's not really – the goal is to have the playoffs be representative of the rest of the season, and so I'm all right with that change as much as I'm a road course guy. Road America, another fantastic place to bring these cars. Field out of turn 4, great launch by the number 3. We're back underway from the world's fastest half mile.
And a solid jump for Ryan Hart's getting away from the rest of the field. Michael Curran, not as good of a start. Going to peel in behind Jake Nichols as they all fan out. Still trying to jockey for position in the midfield, side by side off of turn 4.
Yeah, that caught everyone by surprise. We might see that as a tone setter for the rest of the night on restarts. And Beckner and Miller going at it for the 9th spot. A little further back to the 66 of 6. And Ricky Springer now on the outside. He's fallen back a little bit since the initial start of the race.
Seth Knoll, the number 1, right in the thick of it right now. Started this race in 16th, and he's moved up a couple of spots, but not a ton of progress as of late. Greg Mitchell on the bottom. Finney in the bottom lane of this racetrack. It is abrasive. It is tough to keep it down there, but you can make moves on the bottom early. But as the race goes on, we'll probably see people migrate up the track.
Yeah, you already see some people starting to struggle down there. Brandon 60 got a little bit loose trying to keep down there. Now Rafe Slayton trying to take advantage of the 66, working on the outside. And the outside is definitely the place to be at the moment. Jeremy Miller, I saw him, he's made up 6 spots just rolling the outside lane. This has been working well for the 30 car so far.
There's the 07 of Cedric Hunter. He had a good lap going, but got loose there off the corner, and Seth Knoll going to pass him on the outside, which, by the way, Seth Knoll is one of the 4 drivers who led a lap here a season ago. Him and David Weishart. Weishart's actually a lap down, so I'm not sure what's going on there. But JT Poole moving up quite a bit since the start, almost up 10 spots. He's running 19th with Ricky Bobby watching on.
That's just Garrett Grant behind him right now. Ricky Bobby, though, lingering in the mirror. 64 on the high side, that's Ed Robertson, and a little bit of good scrapping happening up the field. There's the 41 of Tyler Nichols. He has gone backwards since the start. Had a really strong qualifying effort, Finian, but the race pace does not seem to be there early.
Yeah, and I'm not sure this is him just trying to, manage his tires, manage his equipment early on here. And just
crash turn 4. Chris Seidenfeiden's in the wall, and he's kept it straight, but he definitely got a piece of it.
I was really surprised that car is driving straight. He took a huge hit to that inside wall. Definitely going to have to come down for repair. I'm just curious what sent him so far sideways.
Take a look at it with the sim mark replay. He just loses it off the corner and into the inside wall. Tough run there for Chris. Maybe he can get back out there and finish this race. But at top 10 at Michigan, but didn't want to see that and the way it did. And now we look at JT Poole.
No caution.
Whoa.
And this time it's Ben Pierce, and Ben Pierce only somehow, I think. 33 of Weishart on the outside here. Right
Let's
here.
get loose.
That was the same thing that happened to Chris.
That was a pretty good hit to the nose.
Same thing in the same corner too. Just the exit, he gets loose, and instead of spinning it to the inside wall, it's to the outside wall. Still significant contact made.
You know, I would give the new damage model some crap there for not having any deformation, but when I was watching the race at Darlington, we saw drivers get hooked into the wall a bunch of times. Not a freaking thing happened to the noses of those cars, so this is frustratingly accurate, I think.
Yeah, I was going to say, the new cars are really built like tanks. It's not like the Gen 4 car where you just hit the wall and you got fenders flapping all over the place. You have the guy come down pit lane, someone gets a sledgehammer and a chainsaw and mends it back into place. These things are a lot more, the fenders are a lot more durable. But no, talking about the spins off of Turn 4. Turn 4 seems to be a big trouble spot at the moment. So Brandon 6 commented he got a little bit loose off there a few laps ago. So it's definitely the trouble spot, being stuck on that inside lane off of 4. A lot of guys, you put a little bit too much power in. I think it's catching guys off guard, the lack of grip, and around some of them go as Cosmin Yonoshibu comes down pit lane.
Seth Knowles put in the Twitch chat, "Hey Hunter, did you pick me like I said?" So there were only a few drivers I was able to talk to before the race, and Seth was one of them. And I know Seth had a good car here a season ago, and I told him if the stats lined up, then yes, you'll be my pick, but it didn't line up, and then I took the over on car number to win. 28.5 was the over, so over under. So I took the over, and I kind of can't go back on that. But 20 laps in, 2 yellows. I'd have to say race is fairly okay, just minimal stuff, caution to cautions, nothing you can do about that. But looking through, and I think JT Poole might be the biggest mover of the race so far.
Now looking at where JT is at, 21st after starting 28th, up 7. Seems about right.
Don DeLeo actually is the highest mover from 34th to 25th. Never mind, Jonathan Cogswell. Never mind, race late.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, it's just changing.
Race late at 11.
23rd
I
to
kept
12th.
finding different numbers.
Well, this is even more impressive because it's a little higher in the field, too. They get harder to get as you move up in the field, Hunter. And is this a new livery on this 8, or has he run this before? I haven't noticed it, but it looks good, the Loop Technology Chevy.
I think he's run it before. This one just looks more blue, or we haven't noticed it too much, but I could have sworn there was more white on that 8 car. But I guess the car number makes up for it with how large it is on the side of it. Just don't show Teresa too long, because then she'll file a lawsuit to have them replace
the stream's going to be taken down.
Yeah.
It'd be the first
We don't
time.
want that happening.
Not from that. Not from Teresa. I mean, that'd be cool.
From Teresa.
All right, we're getting set for the restart here. Oh, Ross Chastain has jumped it. I'm just kidding. For the zone. No? Okay.
I didn't watch the race.
Okay. Well, if you did, wasn't even close.
I'm just saying, I knew as soon as I saw the 1 alongside the 5, there was no chance that the 5 was going to win.
I don't think anyone alongside the 1 is ever going to have a chance to win, but how it be sometimes, folks. Here we go, coming back to the green, working Bristol. Lap 24 of 200. Let's tick some more off. Here we go, green flag, another good launch from the 3 on the outside.
It means laps, not drivers. Don't want to take off any more drivers.
Yeah, I noticed that right when I said that.
And we'll see what happens with these guys. At least the leaders of the moment, they've been pretty okay, getting sorted out single file and not really interfering with one another, just getting themselves to the rhythm. The midfield, but where things have been spicy, you still see some side-by-side action with these guys after the restart.
He's on board with Ricky Springer. This is what he sees right in front of him as he's working on Cameron Hearn. Got teammate Okresic down low as well, so 51 trying to move up and catch up with teammate Ryan Hartz, continuing to lead.
And Jeremy Miller really still rocking that outside lane, just completes a pass on Cameron Hearn up to 6. And for the lead, Ryan Hartz, James Scully duking it out. Scully looking to the inside, couldn't quite get it done. Now here comes Jake Nichols looking up the inside of the 7.
Nichols, now they're going to stay single file through the front stretch and into the turn, but the 7 already trying to work that outside line so he can get a run down the back, but there's only so much that you can do with that, as right behind Michael Kern, there's a battle forming between Cameron Hearn and Jeremy Miller.
Yeah, this 30 car has some pretty good pace as well, up into the top 10 after starting in 14th place and moving forward pretty well. The 51 fighting him on the outside lane now, though, and again, that outside is going to get better and better as the night goes on. As the grip level climbs up there, we'll see more and more drivers gravitate up there, and the 7 is trying to rim ride as well to try to get some ground on the race leader.
I was going to say, this is exactly how Jeremy Miller went up the order, just working that outside lane. Now he's getting put back down the order by the same strategy, as no one's letting him get to that outside. Here comes Seth Knoll now trying to fight the outside, and Cedric Hunter's waiting in the wings trying to get to the outside of the 30.
Yeah, Seth Knoll, one of the fastest cars in the field. We're already rolling inside the top 10, looking for 8th. Trying to get a big enough run alongside Okresic, and each lap that goes by is another position. Well, would like to be another position for the 1. He moves up to 8th now. And speaking of 8th, there's the 8 of Rafe Slate on the bumper now of Jeremy Miller. Miller losing quite a bit of spots since this restart.
Yeah, it was going the right direction before the restart, going the wrong direction now. Up to that high side, kind of got the wall there a little bit, but he's got his preferred groove. That might mean a step in the right direction here. A bit of a stack up in the background. Nick Silver caused the first yellow today, and the 22 of Dom DeLeo started at the tail of the field in 34th place. He's now up to 26th and climbing.
Yeah, definitely might be a driver we want to keep an eye on before the night's over. He can continue to move forward. Also, Jonathan Cogswell has actually now become the biggest mover of the race. He's up 15 spots from P30 to 15th place on the order, to see Nick Silver almost up in the wall trying to rim ride this track.
Dom DeLeo's actually on newer tires than most of the field. He pitted under that first yellow, so maybe that's a plague into how he's moving up through the field. But Tyler Nichols has fallen all the way back to 27th, and he started in 5th.
Hunter Horn also moving forward a little bit, started 21st. Not a great qualifying effort. I think we all figured the race pace would be there, but he's on the bottom now and might actually be starting to go the wrong direction here if the 27 can get by him. Got the 5 of Garrett Grant right ahead, and the 17 of Sturgill right behind.
Up for the lead, things are getting a little bit spicy. Jake Nichols has been trying to make some inroads in on James Scully. He's given up just now for a second, but Scully now is trying to put a little bit more pressure on Ryan Hartz here. If he can get to that outside of the number 3, might have a chance to make a move, and here he is looking to the inside now.
Ioli trying to get underneath the 3, not going to be enough. Hart's going to have that run off the corner to stay in front of the 7 for now. Jake Nichols and Nate Cheeto of not Solid Rock, Solar Flare Racing buying their time as we move a little further back. There's JT Poole running 19th, still hovering around that position, trying to work his way around Greg Mitchell of Fazekas Motorsports.
Yeah, good scraps here mid-pack as well, and clicking away laps as well, working our way towards the 1/4 mark of this race. Really, no one up near the front has made a pit stop yet either, and tire wear will be a consideration. We're about 4/10 off of our fastest lap of the race. It's not like we're going to be blowing away tires tonight, but something to keep in mind that this could be a one-stop race pretty easily. We'll see if that's the case by the end of it, though.
Yeah, and the thing is, too, it might be a one-stop race, but these guys have 4 sets of tires they can throw on the car. So if a caution does come out, they have enough tire sets to decide whether or not they want to give up that track position and get some pressure over. That's going to be the big trade-off and the big decision for a lot of these guys tonight. As you see Beckner fighting with Rafe Slate hard for 12th place.
Yep, Beckner holding on to 12th, and Slate continuing to buy his time as we look back to Sturgill completing the pass there on Number 27, Gabriel Ellison. And then in the car again with JT Poole, still trying to work that bottom. See, most of the drivers are working their way towards the top, but JT's still making it work on the bottom.
And you see the background, the entire pack moving up the hill. Kind of split ahead of the 26, but look at the background. Almost everyone opting for that upper groove to try to find a little pace to move forward. And in the old days, it would get crowded on the bottom of the racetrack. Now it gets crowded up against the wall. The difference between the old days and the new day is that now you've got 3 inches between yourself and the wall when you get knocked out of the way, not 50 feet to correct.
Yeah, you still see these guys battling for position, just trying to find some clear air to work with. And if you look at the 24 and the 4, duking it out. Curran versus Hearn for 5th place. Curran trying to keep himself inside that top 5. Hearn will back out for the moment. As he just tries to look again, talking about that cleaner air. If the guys up and behind, on top might as well run on the bottom lane, get some clean air to work with, try to catch back up. But definitely we're seeing that outside lane is the place to be. Once this track rubber's up though, I'm curious to see if we will see any of the lines change.
Still working their way through the field is Connor Okrezik in the 14s, trying to take 10th away from Cedric Hunter.
Oh, hello.
Oh, 3 wide.
Oh,
touch over there, and
Whoa.
some door banging between Miller and Okrezik.
Travis Beckner has all this out the windshield right now. It's getting scrappy. 50 laps into this race, and the 28 chasing what is now a battle for 9th ahead of him.
Oh, they're still leaning on each other.
I was going to say, this can end very ugly. By the end, it's going to end very well, very bad for some of these guys. And Okrezik's still not giving up, charging hard into turn 3. I think he doesn't care if he washes up into the 30. Might end up threading the 30 into the wall. They're going to touch just a little bit on the front straightaway. 14 dives, hits the apron, going to clear the 30.
Is it over?
No. I don't think so.
Well, it's subsided, but I don't think it's over just yet. Beckner now going to... Whoa. Had a
like
moment there off board.
Are the tides over? No. They just subside.
I was going to say, he may have won the battle, may have not won the damn war. We'll find out.
Oh, for the lead. It's getting tight again. Scioli to the high side. Trying to get by Ryan Hartz. He opened the door. He was within 500ths of the top spot. Looking for it again.
You can see Ryan Hart's now working up the track. I think he's trying to make sure he doesn't give Skyley the outside lane in the middle of the corner. He can have it on the straightaway, but turning in that 3 is going to win out every single time. So Skyley, you see him building up these massive runs, trying to see if he can catch the 3 and catch him off guard.
Still close with this top 3. No one's let anyone go just yet, as Skyley with another strong run to the outside. It's going to take a little more to get around the 3 of Hearts, other than just having strong runs. You see quite a bit of ways of second back between the top 3 and Michael Curran.
Very busy out there, and we're still green, working lap 57 now. Taking away laps pretty quick, guys. This race will go by very quickly if we don't have yellow flags. And the difference between a yellow field race and a green race is extreme at these short tracks when you're lapping so quickly. And that means that Scioli, now that they've gotten some laps under their belt, I think he knows there's a little bit of urgency, I'd even say, to get that track position while you've got a driver in sight. Who knows what the end of this race will bring? Go out there and lead laps while you can.
Yeah, another big thing for the leaders, too. We've been green for just about 30 laps now. Look out the window of Ryan Hartz, and you're going to see something looming up ahead in the distance. You can see really coming off of turn 4 here. There's lot of lap traffic, and they're all, remember, all those guys are lead lap cars fighting for position, so they're not necessarily going to be keeping an eye out for the leaders and going to be willing to let them on by. So this can be very tricky for Ryan Hartz to navigate, because he's got the 7 and the 73 breathing down his neck.
Well, Dom DeLeo's navigated his way through the field just fine. He's now inside the top 20 after starting all the way back in 34th, up 15 spots on the grid. But he could soon fall victim to the leaders, Hartz, Scioli, and Nichols, as they continue to work their way on lap traffic.
Okrezik and Seth Knoll for 8th place. And I'm really curious to see what happens to Hartz and Scioli when they hit lap traffic. Is Scioli going to try to work over Hartz in a pick? Or is he going to be patient and try to bide his time a little bit? Like I said, it goes by really quickly when we're in these green runs. Now, could we get green flag pit stops at Bristol? That might be wishful thinking, but this is we're in a run now.
Hearn might have had a moment. He's lost a couple of spots and still trying to hold fifth off from Nate Trito. Either that or Cameron Hearn is just that much quicker because he's on the bumper of Jake Nichols as we speak. He's getting closer towards it.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's caught up quite a bit to the leaders. We really haven't talked about the 4, but he's been making up some time, a few hundredths of a second here and there. So it's effectively now a 4-car battle up to the front. Meanwhile, looking a little bit further back, battle for 15th, Greg Mitchell, Connor Horn, Cosmin Yonishiwa, and JT Poole in a very tight battle here. You can see that JT Poole get almost into the quarter panel of the 42 as Connor Horn hits the wall and is still side by side with the 84.
He gave it a smooch.
Yeah, just caught a little bit. That will actually settle the battle for the time being. I think it spooked almost everybody.
Oh.
Connor still ringing the neck of that 42 car in the wall again. Well, in the wrong direction. But again, playoff safe with that win, so he's in good shape. But I don't think he wants to run around 20th all night. I'm sure he'd like some track position. But it's going to be hard to come by. You got to pass him to get there unless you pull some pit strategy, which I wouldn't expect to see a lot of tonight. I think tires aren't that important to where you're going to want
for the lead. James Scully going to make an aggressive move, kind of slam the door shut on Jake Nichols as Nichols tried to use the 73. Sorry, was that 73? Sorry, 27 to Jonathan Cogswell as a pick, but now here he goes looking to the inside, 7 and the 73 for second place.
He's going to open the gap between Hartz and the second place driver, whoever it may be, Skyly Nichols or even the 4 of Cameron Hearn. Hearn's quietly worked his way towards this group as now he's going to look to the outside of the 73 for third.
Caution's out, Jeremy Miller.
Oh, look out.
A few others involved in it as well. I think Miller got the worst of it, though. Third caution of the night, lap number 70. Let's go back and see what happened.
He might have got a little lap earlier, but battle with
he squeezed right. JT.
And then everyone piling at the end. Oof.
Alonce Bauer getting a piece of that. And that's why I said earlier about this being a self-cleaning racetrack. That's 26 degrees of banking going into the turn. You'll see that car just swipe down like there was no tomorrow.
Ed Robertson got a piece of it as well. So this will probably drag the field to pit lane, guys. You could probably make it from here. I think that the math makes sense, but is this the time to come?
130 laps?
Yeah, I mean, it's Bristol. It's half mile. Only 70 miles or so.
Well, we're guaranteed to have another yellow at some point.
Here they come.
Yeah, they do come. I was going to say they're going to come down either way. I think even if we do get another caution, I think these guys are definitely going to want to come down for tires. But everyone coming on down to pit lane, and for the most part, I don't think we should see anything too unorthodox. I think, actually, I keep forgetting the tires don't wear out on these things, so might see something unorthodox.
Like not pitting ever on a road course for tires?
Yes, like that. So maybe we'll see guys, I don't know, do two tires, maybe in the lefts or the rights. Get some track position, because track position definitely is worth something here, but again, you have to consider the fact that we could have a long green flag run, but I imagine these guys definitely know more than we do up here in the booth, but big thing is also just making sure you get into your box, because in the Pro Series last week, saw a lot of guys lose out some key spots just sliding through the pit box when they should have avoided it, especially under caution. You lose so many spots, but it looks like everyone made it into their box okay. Jacks will drop, and away they go. Hartz won the race off the pit lane.
So, with our third yellow of the night, we've had a couple of chances to look at our SimWrap Market replay. Race fans, be sure to visit simwrapmarket.com for custom iRacing paint scheme templates that are simple to use and help you stay more focused on the racetrack. To simwrapmarket.com. Been a pretty calm one so far, guys. I mean, we've had a couple incidents, but mostly one or two cars. This most recent one involving three, but damage that should allow drivers to continue. Ballard's right front not looking so good, but otherwise, almost everyone's still running.
Yeah, I think that should be the case. Jeremy Miller, I imagine, is going to spend quite a bit of time on pit lane fixing his car. He took a decent leg. He's come back down again. He's one lap down, as well as Jacob Bell, Delancey Ballard, David Weishart, Ben Pierce, all one lap down. And as far as any retirements, looks like Dwayne Culberson and Chris Seidenfeld have called it a night.
Yeah, not sure what happened to Dwayne, but Chris was involved in that earlier incident that did not bring out a yellow, so he just parked it for the night. Jordan Martin is only 4 laps down now. So that yellow was good for him. If he could get a few more, maybe he could get back on the lead lap, pick up some more spots.
Hey, 4 laps back here is only equivalent to 1 lap back at Michigan. Need a couple more yellows to help you get back up into shape.
Yeah, we'll see, though. We had quite a bit of green flag running. I think it's enough time for the guys to get more confident in their tires. You might see the aggression start to spice up here. Because we always see it once these guys start to feel a little bit more confident, they make some aggressive moves, and then that's when we really start to see cautions breeding cautions. But pace car off, Kyle.
Here we go, lap 76 of 200. Another great launch by the 3. He is absolutely dusting everybody tonight into turn 1. They climb the banking at Bristol.
Cameron Hearn going to make a solid move up into 3rd place ahead of Jake Nichols. And Cameron Hearn now all over the back of James Scioli. Ms. Ford, haven't really talked about him in the race for the lead, but definitely is a contender here.
He inserted himself in that mix under the green flag run where he made up almost 2 seconds out of nowhere, catching up to the top 3. As we see now in the back, that's the 8 of Slate, the 1 of Knoll, the 28 of Beckner, all vying for a position outside the top 10.
Nick Silver
indeed.
on the black stuff on the bottom of the racetrack, going 3 wide for a moment as the 22 of Dom DeLeo works his way forward. That got pretty wild for a second, but they've smoothed it all out now, and we go back to the front, Finian.
Yeah, back to the front. Scioli over the back of the 3 of Reinhardt's thing. He feels like if he can just get something, a fender on the number 3, might have a chance of getting this lead here, but he's going to have to start to be a little bit more creative because he's been trying to make some lunges and make some moves work, but now he's got Cameron Hearn breathing down his neck as you look a little bit further back.
Do you think the 73 is doing this thing where he's saving his tires again?
Probably. Wouldn't put it past him.
Almost on a moment there between Mitchell and Beckner, right behind Seth Knoll.
Running a broadcast here is just, whoa, the 2 car up in the wall. It is just 24/7 looking for things about to start so that you can hope to catch some of the incidents. There's too many places to look. It's only a half-mile racetrack, but so much happens in that half mile each and every lap. Beckner and Mitchell going at it for 12th.
Yeah, Beckner got put out of shape a little bit. He's going to get back in line, going to get clear and go up near the wall and behind the number 2. We're going to look back down below. Seth Knoll just ahead, side by side with Nate Trito, who's been having a decent run inside the top 10. Now just gets relegated outside the top 10.
Still up for the lead is Ryan Hartz, and boy, James Scioli, he definitely had himself maybe a pot full of Roast to Gems coffee because he's been glued to that bumper of Ryan Hartz for the majority of this race. He's not letting him go just yet.
No, he's definitely keeping him busy here driving right now and making him run other lines to keep in defense. This is getting busy. Connor Horn, Dom DeLeo, Newbegin, JT Poole, and more, all for about 17th spot.
Yeah, they're all side by side by side. A little bit, a few rows on back. Dom DeLeo's been continuing his charge up the order. He's going to barely get clear of Connor Horn. Now going to work to the outside of the 84. He's been loving the outside lane. It's been working pretty well for him so far as we're approaching halfway through this race.
Started 30th of season ago at this track, finished 3rd, started 34th tonight. Where will the 22 go? It might be inside the top 10 as he continues to charge on that outside pass of 17 of Sturgill.
You know, one of the things that we talk about is aggression and how that can benefit you. I saw something a couple laps ago that was really interesting watching the 22. You can be aggressive without being reckless. And what I mean is he had a driver in front of him. I think it was the 84, Yonoshiwu, and he was following the 84 into the corner. And he knew, based on what the 84 had done the previous couple of laps, that Yonoshiwu was going to go to the bottom. So the 22 just throttled into the corner and closed that gap, almost hit him in the back bumper, but the 84 got out of the way just in time. And that aggression got him a couple of spots there by carrying a little bit more speed. So anticipating what your competitors are doing around you, that's a really good way to move forward.
He is looking at the drivers we were just talking about. Yonoshiwu, he's going to clear off of the corner, going to get ahead of the 42 Connor Horn as well as the 17 of Michael Sturgill. Still looking at this battle, brewing around 18th place at the moment. Up front, everyone else in behind, everyone else ahead of them is single file and still close to the battle. Yeah,
that 22 car is dialed in. I mean, he's flirting with 13th right now, and it's gonna go here off of 4. Might have the run, might have to back off, but that 22 car is dialed in. Seriously, do not count out Dom DeLeo just yet.
Yeah, he's looking good, and he almost got himself into a bad situation. We saw it cause an accident earlier with the 30 and the 26, where the door was open to the right of Nate Trado, and Nate knew enough to leave him that upper groove, but you can't come up off the corner without checking your right rear blind spot first. It's like turning right when you got a bicycle path to your right. That was a big slide from Travis Beckner into turn 3, but you just have to be prepared to leave a lane, and Nate Trado splits him 3 across.
Yeah, and that was getting past the lap car. Jordan Martin in behind him, using him as a pick, trying to make a move, and made it work. So he's on past the number 9 to Trado, up into 11th place.
Martin.
And Jordan Martin, he pulled off to the side. He's still multiple laps down, just trying to get out of the way of the drivers. Not many places to do it here at Bristol other than that. So we see lap traffic. That's Frankie Barroso in the 12. Leaders have caught up with him.
This is when you spool up the chaos machine. Throw lap traffic in there, turn that dial up to high because it's about to get pretty wild. 3 laps to halfway this time through, and clicking away laps very quickly tonight. And the 73 of Nichols on the bottom. He's making speed down there as the front 2 get very close together.
Yeah, James Scully, I've been worried about him because I've been watching him the last 10, 15 laps. He's been driving extremely aggressively, trying to make a move work on the 3. I think he's realized that he needs to be aggressive in the early part of the run. That's the only way he's going to get by the 3 of Hearts and win this race, not just sitting in behind him, just managing his tires. So he's been driving really aggressively. I don't know how much longer he can keep this up, though. He's going to have just a little bit of a peek to the outside lane, but it's not been working. Meanwhile, Cameron Hurd and Jake Nichols, they've been sitting in behind, managing their stuff. So I think it's only a matter of time before they make a move on the 7 to get past him.
Yeah, right on the bumper of Ryan Hartz. He's still got a mirror full of the 7, maybe the 4 and the 73 in a couple of laps, but more lap traffic in this way, the worse for him.
Well, he's clinched the most laps led this time through. No one can take that point away. Scioli, though, he hits him into turn 1. Gave him a huge shot. All right, play ball, boys.
Oh, here he is. He's definitely going to play ball. Going to look to the inside dive. Going to move the 3 up the track, throw him off the line. Trying to slow him up because that outside lane gets such a good run. Hart's still going to lead that lap. And Scioli's starting to run out of steam here on that bottom.
Opens the door for Jake Nichols.
That's just what the 73 needed.
And Nichols takes advantage of that and now goes Scioli back to 3rd place. And now Nichols can try to have a crack at the 3. Gets a great run at Hart's. Almost had the shot looking to the inside, but I think he knows he needs his outside if he wants to make this pass gone.
Not what Hart's wanted to see, Finian. He did not want to see Nichols get back up on the tailpipes because we know how good he can be.
Oh. Whoa!
Oh.
Remember the 3 races 73 clean many times a season ago, and that's why Nichols had so many wins, because the 3, out of all the times he could have pushed the issue, he decided not to, but not the case here in season 4 of All Racing. The 73 made contact quite a bit with the 3.
Oh, Nichols going to dive to the inside of the 3. I think he tried to make the 3 mistake where he was going to go, and just not going to work. Just no run off that corner. But one thing that's coming up from these guys very quickly is a bunch of lap cars fighting for position. You can see right ahead there, and they're battling side by side. So these guys are going to have to get creative as far as where they're going to go to make it past them.
Remember that thing I said about the chaos machine? Flip that switch, baby. We're going. It's Bristol. I mean, this is what it comes down to. And again, I told you how quick this race goes. 107 laps complete. Only about 22 minutes of racing remaining from here to the end. It goes by fast. Nichols way up high, trying to ride the momentum. And look at the run he's got. He's going to, he backed out. I thought he'd give the 3 a little bit of a shove. But Hartz has to defend that outside on corner exit.
Oh, here they come side by side. There's Jacob Bell fighting side by side for a position. That is
middle 3 wide. He can't do it. Nichols to the top spot.
Oh, and now you see Hart's getting held up by the 77, who almost hits him, and there goes Jake Nichols to the lead.
One Jake benefits another Jake. Jacob Bell in the middle of that battle gave the lead to Jake Nichols, essentially, as they tried to work their way the best they could around the lap traffic. Meanwhile, Scioli still holding on to 3rd from Cameron Hurd.
Well, my pick didn't like that. We'll drop to 2nd place now with 90 laps to go.
My pick very much like that.
Can't all be Jimmy Johnson fans.
So there you see James Kelly in behind trying to work his way past Ryan Hartz. Whoa, it's a great run off the corner.
Oh,
now, this is the first time we've seen Hartz in some dirty air because he's been enjoying clear pretty much up until this time. Oh, contact off the corner. Scully almost wrecks it. Going to hold on to it barely.
Wow.
Oh, my.
That
could have been disastrous.
Yeah, right here.
We need to take a look at this again. Oh, my goodness. Hearn also had a little moment off turn 4 as well.
Yeah, I wonder if Skyley thought the 3 would track out a little bit more, but he's trying to arc that down. Just the slightest touch, but it was enough to send the 7 for a sideways loop, but managed to gather it up. We stay straight. He drops to 4th, but Nichols extending his lead now, but he's still got traffic on the horizon.
That is going to be the main issue that he's going to face, is dealing with this lap traffic and just hoping that the 3, the 4, and the 7 don't catch back up to him in it because, I mean, odds are they're definitely going to catch back up to him dealing with this lap traffic and just trying to navigate his way on through.
Just like that, we've crossed to 85 to go, and now look how high everyone's running on the track. It was only a matter of time before we saw almost everyone run the outside wall. Well, that's what the 7's doing, literally, as we cut to the bumper of the 3, and now to the inside of him is the 4 of Hearn.
Yeah, if we wanted to get some perspective of what the racetrack looked like earlier in the night in terms of where the rubber, I'm not sure how much this will tell us here, but oh, there's a spin. Never mind. The 71 of Newbegin goes for a slide. Will he stop on the racetrack? Does save it. We stay green. Anyway, as I was saying, this track isn't rubbering up that heavily, but here is a look at this corner back. This is turn 2, and then now. Oh, didn't change all that much, did it? Never mind.
There's less rubber on the track now.
It's a
Lights came on.
Cooler demonstration at other tracks, but who knows? Here's Ricky Springer and Michael Curran for 6th.
Springer going to shove it into the corner and slide up and block 24, and he will get that 6th place and get it done. So he continues his march forward. He's got about half a second up to Connor Kresick, and then Kresik's got 2.5 seconds up to James Scarlett and company.
And Cameron Hearn is knocking on the door for that lead now as Nichols working his way around Delonte Ballard and Jonathan Cogswell in 21 to 27 car, and Cameron Hearn buying his time.
Yeah, through that pack pretty quick. The 4 making good speed on the bottom.
Whoa, contact between the 3 and the 7. They're starting to go at it off the corner. One bump went to another. Now they're 3 wide with a lap car. 7's going to door the number 3 out of the way, trying to get by.
All right, are the tempers flaring, Hunter? They're banging doors once, twice, thrice.
Well, there's less than 80 to go. The tempers are definitely getting higher, but I wouldn't say they're overheating just yet. But, here comes Jacob Bell again. Oh, my goodness. This is tight with lap traffic. Now they still have more up further down the road.
Yeah, and this started with the number 3 running the 7 out of some space, and then the 7 came back with a bump mid-corner, and then they started dooring each other. So it got heated pretty quick, and I still think it's not done.
Oh, 7.
Oh my goodness, Delonte.
Yes.
He had a moment in the middle of 1 and 2.
Backed up the 7 for a moment, and the 4 crossing over the 73 for the lead. 75 laps to go this time by, and he's through.
And Nichols backed off.
All right, you deal with the traffic then. You take the trash out.
He's going to use the 4 as a battering ram.
Yeah, he let off the gas very early in the straightaway. I was kind of surprised. Thought he was going to try to put up a fight with it, but I guess, like you said, he's just going to let Cameron Hearn deal with the traffic. That being said, it's starting to lighten up a little bit further down the road, so I'm not sure that was necessarily the best move.
Oh, the 3's in the wall, guys.
Oh, he's Chastaining.
I wonder if Nichols let Hearn by because he felt inherent stress and danger with that 4 so close that they might get into a wreck, so let him go now to preserve a race later. But I don't know. I mean, it was strange to see that. The 3 he's been in the wall a couple of times. He seems like he's struggling.
Yeah, I think just trying to get the car to rotate, protect that outside lane at all costs, prevent Scully from getting around him. Scully now being a little bit more patient with him than compared to where he was 10, 15 laps ago when he was about to throw the 3 into the wall.
That's close. Oh my goodness, the 7 is about 1.
Oh boy!
Forget it.
Man, they are toying with each other.
The 7's toying with that left rear quarter panel of the 3.
That's like when you're like arm wrestling and like you just pin a guy to the ground and you know you're going to lose if you keep fighting him, but Look at this gaggle.
Oh, that is quite a gaggle. How do you make your way through this? 3 wide off the corner. Lap cars in the mix, lead lap cars in the mix, and guys fighting both a lap down and on the lead lap.
Ricky Springer's at a bad pace. Oh!
Get out of there.
Almost in a worse one.
Oh, my goodness. How many times are we going to groan and grunt in a lap, guys?
You want to set a new world record for that?
I have to fight the V8 Supercars announcers. Whoa! Whoa!
Well, we need to go to a road course if we're going to do that then.
Yeah, well, we got one on the schedule in June. Road America National Park of Speed was just there with the Full Send Sims Spec Miata series. That was wild stuff. And this battle has...
Well, he's jellyfish jamming. That's why he's blinking in and out. He's jamming too hard.
Oh, so is the 3 in the wall again.
Oh, hello. Connor O'Krezik's joining in the mix.
I was going to say, they fought so hard with each other, they gave up so much time. I remember I said they were about to use about 2.5 seconds down the road. Now to their back bumpers as Seven's just nearly going to get by Ryan Hart. And here comes O'Krezik, a huge dive to the inside.
Wasting no time.
He'll easily get that spot done. I think we're starting to see now Ryan Hart's really burned up his stuff, and bad news for him. I don't really think there's going to be any chance that these guys come down pit lane again unless their caution comes out.
Yeah, caution could come out, especially with how the lap traffic is interfering with not only the battle for the lead, but...
Oh, speaking of which...
Caution.
Oh, right on
Connor
cue.
Horn.
Who hit the button?
I think I read a little too far ahead on the script.
Yeah.
This is what
Put it out.
Just don't spoil the winner. We're okay.
41-42, they get together. Kind of similar to what we saw earlier with the accident we saw out of... This is the corner before. Kind of same story, just 2 cars kind of coming together on exit. Again, I think the 42 thought that the 41 was going to go up, but there's, this track is so weird with how you exit corners, Finian. I'm not sure that you can expect that, but I don't know that either driver is to blame for this.
No, yeah, Connor said he feels like it's kind of his fault. He's saying, he also commented too, that he's just been driving like expletive tonight anyway, so he's
Connor,
not
if I said
having
it was
fun
true,
tonight.
would you be mad at me? I'm just kidding. He's having a tough night, but yeah, again, it's tough in that scenario. Everyone's on pit lane, guys.
Yep, and there's going to be, again, I doubt we're going to see anything too crazy. I think we pretty much saw everyone take 4 tires last time through, so shouldn't expect anything too crazy, unless someone slides through their stall, which would be a very avoidable mistake.
Especially at these speeds in Bristol. Pit road speed, and I believe, was it 35, 40? It's lower than the rest of the tracks that we go to.
So, guys, when we go green, we're going to have under 15 minutes of racing remaining. So is this the Mother Mary of cautions, if you get my drift?
Yes?
Cautions breed cautions, my dudes.
I still don't get exactly what you're referencing, but anyway. Ooh.
Floodgates. Well, the floodgates of yellow's open.
Well, wasn't that, what was this?
I said the Mother Mary of all cautions. Virgin Mary, and then...
Oh, that's... Anyway.
Look, cautions breed cautions, boys. That's what I was getting. Come on, laugh with me.
Pretty much like the Bristol area in the spring where it floods. That's how many yellows could come out. Less than 60 to go.
It is of biblical nature. We go 2 by 2 on the restart. Just get them up Noah's Ark, and then we go green again. Hey guys, it's Bible country down here. It's Bristol, Tennessee.
I was going to say, you're just showing in as many biblical references as possible.
See how many times the seas part.
I've heard that one before. I'm out of biblical references. I don't actively practice any religion, so that's all about all I know. Moses is in there somewhere. Was he the guy that parted the seas?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know what you're talking about. The
Hashtag Kyle's canceled. All right, doubling up for the restart. Yeah, to make sure that the Chevys, Toyotas, and Fords make it through the flood, we got to get 2 of each. Well, we got A Chevy and a Ford on the front row, a Chevy and a Chevy, and a Chevy and a Toyota, and we got them all.
Yeah, not too many Toyotas in the field, actually. I think there's only three or four that I can see.
What else?
Similar to real life.
Wow. All right. Coming to the green, lap 143, guys. It's going to run down quick. Here we go. Bristol, the last great Coliseum. We're going back racing once more from Bristol, Tennessee. Good launch by the 4. Okrezik clinging to second place. Jake Nichols on the bottom. The 3 slides up and high in front of Seth Knoll. And battle for second is on.
Well, battle for the lead might be on as Cameron Hearn checked up big time in the middle of the corner.
Oh, Springer, look out. 3 deep in the back with Trito.
And everyone jockeying all over the place. Whoa, Trito sideways, gets bumped around. I think it's going to be a caution as he hits the inside wall. No, he keeps going. We're going to remain green.
For now.
I was going to say for now is definitely the thing you want to add on to the end of that sentence. But here comes Ryan Hart, pokes his way through everything, going to try to get back at second. We saw him fall off a ton. Remember, I said he needs to get a caution to get some fresh tires on that car.
Jake Nichols, what a save that was. He's fallen off a ton since his restart. He's outside the top 5.
Good racing here. This has been a fun night so far, and it's almost over. How fast is this going, guys? We've only been going for an hour and 15 minutes, including qualifying.
I was going to say, it's almost been going too fast.
Feels like it, hasn't it?
I was going to say, Cameron Hearn probably feels like this night can't go any faster because he's trying to hang on for dear life now that everyone's got fresh tires chasing him on down. Connor Okrezik, how about him?
Oh, spin, the 0-7 to center. Connor, he saves it, does he? Yes. Sorry, Finian.
Oh, man. We had so many near cautions here.
Been a little while.
But yeah, Connor Okrezik has been doing a fantastic job. Got himself up a few spots, and now potentially has a chance to win this race. So he's got a charging Ryan Hart and Seth Knoll. And Seth Knoll, too, also in the equation, has a chance to win. Remember, Hunter, he said, you should pick him, and you're like, nah. Well, you might have regret that.
The stats didn't align, and I already took the over on the car number.
It's getting busy out there. 50 laps to go. 12 minutes if we can make it to the end under green.
Maybe.
I mean, factually, but if we get the cautions.
Definitely see the leads are really sorted out for now. A little bit further on back, they're still fighting out. Ricky Springer, Greg Mitchell fighting it out for seventh place. In behind Jake Nichols.
If this goes green to the end, they might catch lap traffic at the end because it takes about.
They're already about.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there are already a few stragglers near the back. I think guys have damage off the pace. Frankie Broso and Jeremy Miller, they're fighting side by side, and they're very far off the pace. So Cameron Hearn's going to start dealing with traffic pretty soon.
There they are up the road. These cars make a popping sound on decel that sounds like someone's knocking on my door, and it drives me crazy. Who's there?
You know who is knocking on the door? James Scully on the back of Seth Nolan. He's going to look to the inside this time by.
Oh, boy.
Close to touching, and it's right in front of Jake Nichols as he works his way back inside the top 5 and try to get back at the lead, but he's going to have his work cut out for him.
Where do you go? What lane do you pick? Way up top for the 73, way out of the bottom for the number 7.
But he gets held up there with Seth Nolan not getting a good run off the corner. Here they come through the lap traffic. There's a one during the 7, 3 wide off the corner. This is going to end up bad.
It was right in front of the 73. The 12 is trying to get out of the way. So is the 30. This is going to be bad.
Yep, you can feel it. You can feel it coming. It's like an impending rainstorm where you can smell it. Oh.
Something terrible is about to happen. Just don't know exactly when, but we feel it in the near future.
Something wicked this way comes. The Wicked Witch of the Tennessee.
Oh, might be with the 1 and the 7. They get so close with each other off of turn 2.
Oh, there it goes! How did they not crash? How did they not crash?
Oh,
and here comes the
take this.
73 to the bottom.
Yeah, big moment there. 73 and Nichols going to try to get that top 5 spot back.
This is a wild race, guys.
It is. Well, I'm amazed these guys haven't wrecked more tonight.
This is probably the best. I'm going to hold that. We still got 40 laps to go.
Don't hand out your flowers just yet.
You can make a mess of this before the end of it, I tell you that. You took good care of the dog for 6 days, but if I come back on day 7, there's poop all over the floor.
Yeah, we'll see. Everyone's been behaving each other so far this run after they've been somewhat strung out. Cameron Hearns hiked out to almost a second lead over Connor Okrezik and Ryan Hartz. And Hartz, actually, I'm surprised, thought he would have caught up to the 14 over Okrezik, but has not been making that many inroads on the 14.
Nick Silver making a pretty good recovery, Hunter. Sorry. I remember we saw him spin out early, first yellow, down to 35th, back up to 16th place.
The 46, no quitting, and he's still hunting the bumper of Garrett Grant for that 15th spot. But yeah, I was going to say the 3 of Hearts. I think that's because Okrezik is his teammate, and he doesn't want to push the issue with him just yet. And if he does push the issue, then they lose ground on the leader.
I was going to say, that does make sense.
Oh, I heard somebody go splody. I think it was someone in the pits, though, so we should be all right.
I was going to say, I'd be surprised if we saw anyone on the racetrack go, because we've seen a decent amount of damage, but not too much damage here tonight, which is a very big rarity for Bristol.
It is. And now we've got, dare I say, everyone's kind of spread out a little bit. We're going to click away laps. And this is good timing for Cameron Hearn. Guys, his finishes this year have been abysmal. 1 top 5, that came back at Dover. His other 4 finishes, 28th, 35th, 18th, 35th. He is looking for some luck.
Yeah, I was going to say, and even as he runs, he's 27th in the point. So you remember we talked about this rule earlier at the beginning of the show. You need to be in the top 20 to get that win in your end. So he definitely needs to start finishing more consistent, but a win will definitely go a long way for him as they're actually catching back up on the lap traffic they caught up a couple laps ago. It's still Frankie Barroso and Jeremy Miller battling it out for position.
I was going to say, yeah, I think it might have changed last Thursday because he won the Pro Series race at Michigan, and that could turn things around for him if he navigates his way through the middle in between Jeremy Miller and Frankie Barroso. But yeah, that win Thursday night could have sparked a little momentum for not only the Pro Series side of things, but for the Cup side of things.
You know
as well.
what this season reminds me of so far for Cameron Hearn? If he were to complete this, think back to 2022, and Ricky Springer had a horrible season. Went into, I think it was at Atlanta, and won that race. Continued to have a horrible season, won another race, and then won a couple more and ended up in the Final Four.
Yeah, so it just happening a lot earlier for Cameron Hearn. So started to get the ship pointed in the right direction earlier on this season. Still has got a decent gap to go with, and he's just hoping, I think at this point, that this race finishes under green.
No.
Although looking at this pack, it might not. As Brandon Six is holding off JT Poole, charging the outside, Kazuno Shibu in the mix, all battling for 12th.
Look at the focus on this kid. Man, he is in it right now.
Of course, he's got to be focused. Ricky Bobby's watching.
Well, you're at Bristol, too. It's there's a lot that goes on, especially at short tracks, where you need all your concentration going in as Yoneshiwu inches closer towards the bumper. But, yeah, nice little battle there for 12.
Going to get stacked up here. The 84 is going to cross over Brandon Six. That got a little dicey. And he's stuck behind Jeremy Miller. He's going to put him in the fence. These two ran into each other earlier. All right. Made it.
Kazuno Shibu all over the back bumper of the 26. Now going to dive to the inside in turn 1.
Oh, Miller's really struggling.
Yeah, they're still trying to work their way around Miller.
He's had a tough season, Miller has. He's had pace at times, but when it goes south, it goes Antarctica south. 25 to go.
Look at third. Oh.
Wow, he took liberty there, didn't he? Look at his eyes slim down. He didn't like that very much.
I was going to say, everyone's been taking a lot of liberties tonight. It still is just genuinely amazing you haven't had more cautions because guys have been racing pretty aggressively. It's not like the aggression's died down at all. We've seen some aggressive blocks, aggressive moves, guys sideways, but they've been able to save it every single time.
The ride-in car with JT Poole. Want to note that third place is about to heat up. Scioli and Jake Nichols, I believe they are side by side on the track. Yes, they are. That is for the podium spot, boys. That's to have a chance to talk to us after the race.
Oh, you want that chance? Absolutely. Nichols with a good run. He arced it in late off the high side, carried some speed in. He's going to try the slider on the 7. Couldn't quite complete the deal.
I think he's going to try to throw it into the corner here. It's his best option here because that outside, again, that run off the corner is really what gets you and solidifies you. So if he can just throw it in here and slide up the track, there he is, and will slot himself in front of the 7. Skyley doing the switchback, comes back on the bottom.
He's got to do the same, though, and he didn't throw it down there hard enough, so now 73 will easily gas back up. And whoa! That was almost throwing the race away for Nichols, but he's got it. 20 laps to go.
Powered off the corner a little bit too hard there, trying to beat the number 7. So he gets up into 4th place. Now going to try to track down the number 3, Ryan Hart's just up the road.
And back here, Tyler Nichols and Nick Silver vying for position with JT Poole in front of them, and Michael Sturgill also behind him.
Ricky Springer got Brandon 6, Michael Curhan, and Travis Beckner all behind him.
McCurran is for Mustang trying to dive into the inside, get clear of that 51, doing similar move to what we saw with 73. Will do so to Springer do the switchback. No, he sits in behind.
Oh, for how much longer?
Yeah, it's going to be the big question. That is going to be a big question here. And also looking up ahead, Jake Nichols caught up back to the bumper of Ryan Hart.
Yeah, also bound for third. I still couldn't get over that send from Travis Beckner. Oh my goodness! And now
look at
Jake
that.
Nichols trying to replicate that.
Starting to throw sliders on him. It's looking like Eldora, but this time Hart's.
I was going to say, Nichols looks like he's driving out of Eldora. He was sideways off a turn 4, just trying to power out of the corner to beat Hart's. And we'll hold on to that. No, this is a gaggle.
Boy.
That might be a wreck.
Got the tongue out and everything. Oh.
Whoa!
Trading some paint here.
And that's, I mean, that's saying something because there has not been actually quite a lot of paint traded here. Everyone's car is still looking pretty clean.
Can they trade paint anymore, or is it just vinyl trading at this point?
Yeah, well, it doesn't have the same
trading
ring to
wrap.
it. Trading wraps.
Sim wrap market. Hey, by the way, I know we got 12 laps to go. Real quick, because we haven't had a lot of yellows. Be sure to check out rickshotsauce.com for some of the best hot sauces made locally in South Florida. Try the Loxahatchee Classic, Golden Garlic, Palm Beach Pineapple, or South Beach Heat. Follow the Rick's Hot Sauce Rookie of the Year battle in the Area Cup Series and see which driver will take home the $100 prize as the highest finishing rookie in the point standings. Back to the racing because it is busy out there. The 5 in the fence and chasing the 66 and the 28 for 10th.
Yeah, Travis Beckner was held up there with Jacob Bell in the 77 getting around him. It's all the 66 and the 5 to catch back up for 10th place. And there goes Brandon 6 looking to the inside. Beckner almost in the wall.
Wow, look at Grant. Grant had a great run through 1 and 2. Now he's going to look low on the 66 of 6, trying to work his way in for 11th.
Yoshi went behind, took a decent chunk out of the wall. So did Beckner in the middle of the corner.
Yoshi bounced off it again. Good racing here, midfield and beyond. It's really been the hot spot. Has been 11th through 20th tonight. That's really been where the closest racing has been. 84 had to jump on the brakes mid-corner. That will bring Cedric Hunter in the mix and Sturgill. Oh,
and
3
ahead
wide.
of them, 3 wide, clearing a lap car. Garrett Grant uses it to his advantage. Will move ahead of Travis Beckner into the top 10.
Run out. I can't believe we didn't run out of luck there.
Jeremy Miller is.
Oh, guys, looking behind them. Look further back. Look around where I think Ricky Springer is at the moment on the track. He's fighting with a bunch of guys. Look at this mess.
Oh, man, it is a
This
mess.
might actually result in a yellow if they catch the 30.
Oh, there it is!
Oh, there it is!
Oh,
Silver sideways, Trado sideways off the corner, caution gonna fly, with just 5 laps to go.
Oh, that changes everything. Oh, boy.
Well, they didn't need to get the Jeremy Miller. It happened before they got to him, but at some point you had to have known the yellow's going to come out with how aggressive these guys were racing.
Well, we ran ourselves out of luck. Here's a look at it. 9 at Trado just he just got into him and said, all right. And then he ended up getting piled in there anyway.
Oh, and I think that was Ballard, Delonte Ballard. No, not Delonte Ballard.
41 on Nichols, Tyler Nichols.
There we go.
Places to be. Whoop. Me too.
Unfortunately, the C's did not park for the 41.
So, if you are Cameron Hearn, you absolutely do not pit, I think. You have to stay out.
I don't think most leaders are going to pit with only 2 laps to go. I don't think it's going to be that big of an issue.
It's going to be...
You're not going to make up...
Sorry, Hunter, go ahead.
I was going to say, you're not going to make up too much ground anyway if you pit, unless you're the 11 of Corey Heim and you have like 7 yellows and just send it 5 wide all the way down low. In that case, then you'll have time, but...
Yeah, Brandon 6
no one pits here.
has dived in from 13th place. Figures it's worth coming on down, and a few other guys in behind are deciding to also come on down.
All right, guys, revise your picks. Who you got?
I mean, I would want to change it, but I feel like it's the boring option at this point. I'm going to stick with the 73.
Well, the 66 is not in it, so he's actually pitting now, but go with the 73 as well, mostly because I took the over of 20.5 car number to win.
All right, I'm not going to pick Cameron because that's too easy. I'm going to take...
Oh, now it's too easy.
Well, he's leading now. But I am going to pick Hunter Okrezik. He's almost leading.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think if everyone had fresh tires, it would be a little bit more up in the air. But I think with worn tires, it's going to come... that 4 is looking pretty good. And we've seen the jumps that some of the leaders can get. It can last them at least 2 laps.
Well, guys, I think now we're safe to say that this has been one of the cleanest and greenest Bristol races I think SimTV's ever done, which is great.
Yeah, I was going to say.
This is one of the fastest-paced races I can remember.
This is definitely one of the cleanest races we've seen, and we can say that because we only have the chance of having 1 more yellow guaranteed to end this race. And again, I think what we've only had, this is what, the 3rd yellow?
Oh, no, 4th or 5th,
4th.
but it's
4th, okay.
5 max at Bristol's pretty good.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't remember the last time we've had anywhere close to 5 cautions at a decently long Bristol
And it's not
race.
like the field is small or we haven't been trying. They've been 36 deep. Everyone's passing.
And they've been cutting at each other's throats the entire night, too. That's the big thing, too. It's been aggressive all night long, but aggressive just didn't happen to go around that often here.
Oh, but aggressive will. It is destiny.
I was going to say, Okrezik has to do something here unorthodox if he wants to have any chance at the floor, because he's going to drive away on this restart. So 14 might have to just literally throw a Hail Mary. Talking about religious references. We have to throw the Hail Mary to get a win here, because that 4 is going to set off into the sunset when we go green here.
Well, next week we go to Darlington, which isn't any easier. Let's see how this race pans out from Bristol. Thanks for being with us here on SimTV. Green flag back in the air, and Hearn gets a great launch. If we get back to the white, we will race this to the end. If the caution comes out, the race is over out of turn 2. So far, so good. In the background, bouncing off each other is JT Poole. Can we make it back to the stripe? White flag waves. 1 to go from Bristol.
Oh, we saw them do. They're going to wreck each other in behind, though, around 10th place. A massive crash into turn 1.
Oh!
The biggest crash we've seen all night, but we're still going to race it out in front. Cameron Hearn, meanwhile, through 3 and 4.
Checkered flag for Cameron Hearn. His best finish was a 5th. Make it a 1st. He wins at Bristol. Wow. Beckner caught up in that, as were others. And they're going to bring it back around limping. Oh, there's still cars.
Oh, my goodness.
I was going to say, he came flying back around when they're still trying to sort themselves out from that wreck.
Well, before we go back and show you that wreck, let's make sure we don't miss the celebrations because they're happening now. Cameron Hearn led 78 laps, almost as dominant as Ryan Hartz, who led the entire first half of this one. Well done.
Yeah, really solid job. And again, we're talking about getting a season turned around. This is a great way for Cameron Hearn to start doing that here with the win. And some solid points to that number 4's name.
Now a 2-race winning streak for all 3 area series. Sky only had 5, so looks like and he did say, Finian, that he was going for that streak. He was looking to extend it past the 7s.
Well, let's have a look at what happened here with the 28 in the middle of it. I think it started right there. Oh, there was actually 2 separate wrecks that kind of ended up as one. Oh, man.
Yeah, it's 20 bounced off the 17, and the 20 then went into the 24, and there's just not enough room there towards the end of the race.
Springer got caught up in the background, and then when they came into turn one, then it's game over. Again, like I said, you can't stop, and just they all pile in.
Whew.
And they took the white flag too, so there is no lifting on this last lap.
Yeah, you can't. I mean, at this point, it's
records of checkers.
Yep. I mean, that's what they call it. Let's have a look here at our race results. That was a wild one. Here's a look. Cameron Hearn gets it done by half a second, and he really was dominant, Finian. Once he got to the lead, he really never looked back.
No, really, and he stuck up out of nowhere because at the beginning of the race, we were mainly looking at the 3, the 7, and the 73. And then he just slowly got up to the front, picked up each driver, put them down, and got to the lead. And like you said, just never looked back after that.
Garrett Grant getting a solid top 10 in the process, as well as Rafe Slade, Sturgill, and Greg Mitchell, too.
Then JT Poole, 11th place. Cosmo Onishiwu, Ed Robertson. Brandon Bowie, didn't talk about Bowie almost at all tonight. Newbegin, I don't even remember mentioning his name once other than the starting grid. Newbegin starts 15th. Nick Silver had a couple accidents, ended up P16. Dom DeLeo snuck through that wreck there at the end, and then really from everyone on down, that's who was involved.
Yeah.
Cedric Hunter, Beckner 6th, and not representative results, Finian, but when do you have one of those at Bristol?
Yeah, I was going to say, you look back at the second page, and this is where a lot of the guys that ended up in that wreck ended up at. Ricky Springer, Michael Kerr, and Connor Horn with just a very mediocre night. Not going to be happy with the way he finished. Nate Trado looked like he might have had a decent finish tonight, but just really wasn't meant to be back in 24th. Nichols, Sinizak, Ballard, Miller, and Jacob Bell. And Frankie Brosa rounding out your top 30.
And then nights to forget for Jordan Martin, Ben Pierce, Cogswell, Weishart Culberson, and Chris Einfeld.
Well, that's your race results. Let's talk to the drivers that finished up on the podium. And one of the drivers that dominated the first half of the race, led more than half of it. But Ryan, once you lost the lead, you couldn't quite get it back. P3, not a bad night, but I'm sure you would have wished to get yourself another victory. What happened there? And with more laps, do you think you could have gotten back up there?
No, probably not. First run was great. I thought I handled the car really well, and I was just wrapping the bottom trying to save my stuff, but I don't know, when the lights came on and the sun was completely down, I was just plowing everywhere for some reason. Me and Connor were talking about low fueling the car to try to make it looser, but personally I got a lot tighter, unfortunately. So yeah, I lost the lead because of an unfortunate lap car incident. Part of it was me, just because the tires were just so bad at that part of the run, but yeah, I'm a 3rd to 4th place car this season. I don't know why. I really thought tonight was going to be a chance at a win. But I mean, 3rd place, can't really complain about it.
Not a bad night, Ryan. P3, I'm sure you'll take that and move on to Darlington next week. Best of luck there. We'll see you next time.
Yeah, thanks to you guys, and thanks to SRP for all they do, and thanks to Miller Racing for all they do for us. We almost had it tonight, but we'll unveil our throwbacks, and hopefully I can win a second Southern 500.
We'll see you next week, Ryan. Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
Connor Okrezik steals a second out of that one. Connor, a really strong night. Started the race in 10th. Drove your way up into the mix and almost had a shot at it at the end, but just didn't quite have enough for Cameron there. Didn't have enough laps to run him back down. Do you think you could have if you had the laps to do it?
I don't know. I mean, I think we were a little bit closer on speed at the end. I mean, he definitely had the mid-run speed. He was incredibly fast. Yeah, I don't know if I would have had what it takes to run him down. Probably not, to be honest with you. I mean, he was on a completely different playing field tonight. I mean, just on a completely different level. But sometimes you get beat, and this was one of those nights. Glad to come home in second. Glad to bring a really good points night home for the Solid Rock Performance guys and Sunny South Raceway, Tiggy Slinger Racing Graphics, and everybody else that helps out.
Well, Connor, congrats. Second place for the number 14. We head to Darlington next week. You got anything out there?
I think so. Darlington isn't my best track, but I've been pretty solid there in the past, so hopefully I can have another solid finish or a shot at winning at the end of the race. You never know what happens at Darlington. It's a crazy racetrack.
Yep, so was Bristol. You survived it this week. We'll see what next week holds for you. Thanks for talking. We'll see you next time.
Absolutely. Thank you.
And last but certainly not least, it is Cameron Hearn. Cameron, it is probably safe to say that this season has not gone to plan. There were times, I think back at Charlotte, for example, some of the worst nights I think I've ever seen you have in terms of luck. Tonight, though, a relatively clean and green race at Bristol. All the drama, for the most part, was in the mirror. Take us through your drive tonight, battling with the 7, the 73, and the 3.
Yeah, it was tough. Those guys are fast everywhere we go. And I was running a little bit different line at the beginning of the run, and I felt like I was saving my right front more than those guys were. Then once I got up top, I felt like those other guys started following me up there. And those guys started racing hard, and I think I got past Ryan and James. And Jake kind of let me go, which was surprising, but I think he thought I was going to burn up my tires and stuff. Then the caution came out shortly after that, and he was kind of maintaining behind me. Then I got off pit road first, and then pretty much try to do qualifying laps and just hit my marks and not mess up. And like you said, when the late race caution came out, green right checkers, like, here it goes. Somebody's going to send it into one on me, like Ross Chastain, and I'm going to finish 23rd again. So, but no, hats off. We had a pretty clean race for Bristol's main cars we had on the track, and up front, super clean, hard racing. Can't think of anything, can't wish for anything better than that.
Cameron Hearn wins Bristol. We'll see you next week at Darlington. See if we can go 2 for 2. Thanks for talking. Congrats. We'll see you next week.
I appreciate it. I want to thank Dom for signing me for Zika's Motorsports, Eat Sleep Race, NAI, DeLeo Brom, Magyar Bank, Flash Picks, and Matty Chucks. You guys for the broadcast. My mom, dad watching me. Don't win a lot, but I won 2 weeks in a row, baby.
All right. Enjoy it. Soak it in. We'll see you next week.
Thank you.
All right, guys, wrapping things up here from Bristol. What a night. That was a fun race. One last look through our session results. And, guys, let's do it again. We're going to Darlington next week, though. That is a different challenge of similar caliber, staying out of trouble. Next week, though, it's the self-inflicted trouble that you're looking to stay out of.
Yeah, no, these guys did a fantastic job tonight. Excellent racing all night long. Some of the best racing we've seen here at Bristol on SimTV. These guys are cutthroat at each other all night. Didn't wreck each other, though. That was the big thing. And it led to some intense action all night long and a bunch of different guys near the front and all duking out for the front. So can't wait to see what the rest of the week's got in store. I know we're at North Wilkesboro tomorrow night with the trucks. Back here at Bristol on Thursday with the Pro Series cars.
Indeed, and we get to Throwback Week for Darlington, one of my favorite weeks on the schedule. We get to see all the throwback paint schemes that drivers have. Eligible for some prizes, because we'll have a good bit of that from Miller Racing Graphics. But Throwback Weekend, again, one of my favorite weeks. And looking back at it, again, Jake Nichols won that race too, but still winless in Season 4. Maybe it changes next week, but for now, we ride off into the sunset, Kyle.
We certainly will. I'll be out of office tomorrow, headed out to Circuit of the Americas for Fanatec GT World Challenge America, powered by AWS, and announcing the Toyota GR North America Cup Series this weekend at Circuit of the Americas. So tune into the GT World YouTube channel to hear me there, but I'll be out starting tomorrow. Finney will be taking care of you guys for the rest of the week, and we'll see you next Monday with the continuation of the Area Cup Series. I'm Kyle Heyer with Hunter Sleppy and Finney Nakuna. We'll see you next time.